Well, hello everybody who's filing in slowly. I just wanted to say hi and happy to see you here. We're just going to wait a few minutes as everyone floods in. And yeah, start engaging in the chat. Let us know where you're coming from, or maybe what's your favorite color, anything. Let us know in the chat.
How are you doing today?
That's a good one. We had a blink of snow here for April.
Yeah, no, I put away all my winter clothes and I'm like, no.
Yep. We have a favorite color being lime green in the chat. Hopefully you appreciate the background colors. They may not be a true lime green, but they're pretty close.
Oh, we have someone from the Netherlands. That's nice.
Ooh, favorite color black. So classic.
Welcoming spring with lots of green and yellow. Yes, that was our hope and wish.
Ooh, yes. Black is not a true color, but we like it.
That's so controversial in our world, isn't it?
Yes. Alrighty, seeing more people join in. Hello, everybody who's new. Feel free to comment in the chat where you're coming from, what's your favorite color, anything.
What's your favorite color, Sam?
My favorite color is red. It's a pretty classic, basic choice, but I can't even show you anything because they're all away from me so I don't get distracted.
Mine is peach, which is very difficult to some people to picture because peach is very like, they think maybe salmoning sometimes. I'm like, no. I know peach when I see it. That's not peach.
Wasn't that even one of your wedding colors?
Yes.
Yes. Look at me, remembering things.
Yes.
Green theme. I love emerald greens. Very lovely. And good morning, Rashna. Alrighty. Well, it's been a few minutes. Let's see if we've got the cue that more people are joining. All right, looks like we're good to begin. So, hello everybody. So just to start us off, we rely on and cherish this world, and only together can we save trees and decorate nature with green. Again, to show our commitment to a healthy world for generations to come, Lorama Group will be planting a tree for each individual who has attended this webinar. So congrats everyone, you get a tree. Yay! And let's get back here. Perfect. All right, so before we start, let's just take a moment to think about how our life has changed significantly this past year, and maybe even how your target consumer habits have changed. So perhaps in the terms of like birthday parties and holiday parties, you can't congregate, or even in the sense of like wrapping paper for all of those presents and things. Now people are maybe getting virtual gifts and less packaging, or potentially more with, you know, online purchases.
Gift cards, which doesn't require any wrapping paper or gift bags or stuffing.
Exactly.
Sparkles.
So how else has life changed this year, guys?
Having a lot of shipments at home, right? A lot of packages, a lot of recycling boxes.
So again, how has this year changed in your life, or how has your consumer habits changed? Perhaps there's been a push to use reusable products or focus on local supplies even. This is something we can, of course, ruminate on. So much more online shopping. Excellent. Yes, indeed. More people are buying online. All right, and with that, I'm going to officially start our webinar. So welcome everyone to the Color Insights webinar. We are excited to bring you the modern consumer trends for 2021. Some of you may have joined our workshop we did last year focusing on modern consumers and how they are impacting interiors. For Earth Day 2021, we are focusing on the modern consumer, drivers, and trends towards sustainability. So, how can you stay ahead of the trends and win the loyalty of modern consumers?
By attending this webinar.
Thank you, Diana, for that. And so let me introduce myself. My name is Samantha McLean. I'm the Color Marketing and Design Manager. And today I welcome a new face to our webinar, Diana Liu, who is our Technical Project Manager here at Lorema Group. And of course, we would love to make this as interactive as possible. So please feel free to add in any questions in the chat box, and we'll be monitoring it throughout the webinar. And if you see me looking away, it's just because Diana and I are literally across the table from each other. So we are being, COVID friendly and safe by keeping ourselves 12 feet of distance apart. Alrighty, so moving on. You might be wondering why we chose to host our webinar on Earth Day. It's really to bring awareness to this cause because it's not just a trend, it's truly our future. For this year, we have partnered up with the Canopy Project, which is a conservation and biodiversity program that educates and raises awareness about accelerating rate of extinction of millions of species and the causes and consequences of this phenomenon. The program seeks to build a global movement that embraces nature and its values to encourage individual actions, such as adopting plant-based diets or stopping pesticide and herbicide use. So again, thank you all for attending the webinar today. We're excited to be planting a tree on your behalf. The theme of Earth Day is Restore Our Earth, and we are excited for you to join us in celebrating sustainable trends and products leading the way to a greener tomorrow. And hopefully you'll enjoy some of the interesting insights we have for you today. And quickly, I'm just going to go over trends and drivers. So trends continue to have an impact on our daily lives. We are creating a future by driving change. Through Color Insights, we offer workshops so you and your team can identify upcoming trends and their applications. If you and your team are interested in more information on tracking and forecasting trends, Color Insights has several training webinars available to learn and educate yourselves from. Today, we'll be talking about three main trends to cover transparency, added value, and the co-factor. We believe it's important to see what's happening in other industries to identify potential disruptors, in our own, and you will see that through our examples. So to start us off, trends have an impact on our daily lives and future. We now see the growth of consumers understanding the impact of their purchase habits that they have on the environment, and more of them being environmentally conscious in how they live their lives, leading to a blurring the line between activism and consumerism. So Diana will be starting us off.
Before I start, I have a question for you, Sam.
Oh boy.
When you're looking to buy something, what do you first think about?
I would say price. I'm pretty price conscious. Aside from that, I would believe availability, because I suppose with online shopping, you run into the issue of like purchasing something and then realizing too late it's not in stock, and getting that fun email of, oh, hey, this will be available in 30 days. And I'm just like, darn it.
Yes.
So that's typically what I look at. I'm sure there's more.
Yes, no, price and availability is definitely top of the list. And the third one would probably, as it's kind of stemming from that, is whether it's available locally. So instead of having it shipped to your home, can you quickly go to, curbside pickup? How far would it be to drive? Things of that nature. Mm-hmm. And so just to summarize, it's price, how available it is, and whether it is available in terms of proximity. Mm-hmm. Another layer of considerations that consumers are thinking about is environment. How much waste is made when making this product? How much waste is generated when using it? There's also ethical labor, human rights, fair wage, suitable working conditions. And lastly, transparency. We are living in a time where there is an increased awareness of social issues. Consumers now expect brands to make effective steps towards this movement and to be clear on their stance. Now, if they've made mistakes, they own it and rectify it and show that they've made steps towards being better, to improvement. where we're also looking at being involved in other various issues that plague the world today. Consumers no longer accept being a bystander or even silent. They want a stance. And this need for transparency comes with an opportunity for brands to create a space for brand loyalty, a brand following. We saw social media companies stepping in during the pandemic to stop the spread of misinformation. There were companies from different sectors highlighting their ingredients to be transparent in order to build the trust and build their consumer base. As a business-to-consumer venue, it's important to take partnership approach to all these aspects in the supply chain, from the materials to labor practices. This would truly be the best way to build resilience in a company and improve brand recognition and shareholder value.
Yes, and I definitely see in our chat, some people have talked about even just leaving reviews. I think that's kind of that, how consumers don't want to just be bystanders. They want an active role in reinforcing the transparency of a brand, or even saying like, hey, no, I don't think they're being transparent about this because this is my experience with it. So I think all of that is great, excellent points, chat.
Yeah, and like social media definitely gets a really more quick response. Back in the day, you would have to like call or just email and just wait. But now the response is like so much quicker. So it's kind of great to have that like instant connection, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So with transparency, it's also creating some interesting design and products, because creativity comes from need. Here we have 3 examples, one of which is Sultry in India, which have opened its doors to its flagship location. It's a place for consumers to experience its skin, hair, and makeup products, and does this in a completely sustainable way. Not only is it India's first solar-powered beauty and wellness store, this 600 square foot boutique is made with biodegradable materials, non-plastic fixtures, reclaimed wood with a zero waste policy. The staff are also outfitted in sustainable materials, and 100% organic cotton, to further support the brand's commitment to an organic, ethical, and co-friendly future.
Very interesting.
So I have another question for you, Sam.
Oh boy, hot spot.
Have you ever personally picked the stuffing in your pillow?
I've attempted to be conscious and buy pillows with bamboo, but I'm not sure if I enjoyed them.
Well, there's other options as well. You can actually pick like organic buckwheat hulls or natural kapok, millet husks. There is also, as you mentioned, even orthopedic memory foam pillows made with shredded bamboo fibers. Okay. And with so many options, you're just like, what is good? Because preference play a key role, right? Pillows are very important, believe it or not. Or you can test run them out at a hotel. The Hilton London Bankside Hotel actually have this option available. They have collaborated with 2 companies, Bombast and Par, and the Vegan Society, to create an all-new vegan hotel suite. This is where veganism is not just a diet, but also an intentional lifestyle choice. The suite features a variety of entirely plant-based natural materials, fibers, and surfaces from floor to ceiling. With sustainable bamboo flooring, the suite also offers soft soy silk curtains and materials or furniture that's made with a natural leather alternative called Pinatex, which is derived from pineapple leaf fibers. So things that like armchair, cushion, headboard, key cards, and other details that we overlook and take for granted, we don't have much thought to, but we use it every day.
Oh, wow, definitely.
Here is our last example, where we see a huge increased number of different meal kits, and they're known for being both healthy and convenient, making them universally appealing. One company called the Lettuce Networks is aiming to take things even one step further by offering a no-waste meal kit. This is based out of the Austin area, USA, and this inventive service offers users the ability to enjoy a simple home-cooked meal without contributing to an environmental waste. Lettuce networks also use waste-free packaging that is very similar to like reusable bags and Tupperware containers. Their containers are also very easy to stack in one's fridge and offer a longer lifespan, which is both very important to consider. And once you finish your meal, the company will actually come up and pick up the compost-ready remnants. This is a great option for people without backyards or in apartment building or condos, doesn't have a compost or isn't ready to commit to composting. So this is definitely an amazing alternative.
Definitely. I've always wanted to try, but I have been kind of conscious about the amount of packaging because I guess I just pictured it being like every fruit or vegetable in its own individual box, and it just sounded like too much waste.
Yes.
But that sounds great.
So the question becomes, how can your brand showcase its ethical and sustainable practices? Here at Lorema, we show transparency through understanding all these concepts. So you as our partner can rest assured knowing that we've made every effort to ensure that we manufacture co-friendly and ethically sourced products. With that being said, we are very proud to support the Earth Day organization, and accredited 4-star charity by Charity Navigator, and it has a platinum seal of transparency by GuideStar, the highest classification from both organizations. And this generally means that nearly 80% of their fundraising goes directly to the program work, with less than 15 cents per every dollar supporting the admin work, which is fantastic.
Definitely. So our next slide brings us to New Beginnings. If you joined us during our Color of the Year event, you may recall the New Beginnings palette that was inspired by New Generations. So this is just being layered onto the transparency trend that Diana has talked about. So in this palette, we were talking about how the youth are transforming their fear into action and harnessing the collective power to become doers rather than observers, leading to shifts in the market, and how this ultimately embodies the transparency trend. And we just wanted to bring that back into the fold. So our next slide, there we go. So added value is our second key trend for the modern consumer palette. Here we are. So there has been a major shift in the last year because consumers are saving rather than spending. Here in Canada, Statistics Canada says that household savings rate hit an all-time high of 27.5% in the second quarter of 2020, before easing into a 14.6% in the third quarter. Economists estimate that this will be around 13% in the fourth quarter. And that is an extremely high rate when you compare it to the average saving rate of 1.4%. 1.4% in 2019. So it's good to note, like, have you guys seen similar things in your region? And ultimately to ask the question, why has this shift occurred? Financially, we are in uncertain times, and this continues to be at the top of everyone's mind. We don't know when the economy will bounce back. So with this market shift, it's led to a change in people's buying habits, buying things with a sense of purpose opposed to newness or novelty, along with repairing rather than replacing. So maybe we'll go and fix our cracked phone rather than, just buying a new one. It's important to create that added value to a product, as it will have a higher value and attract more consumers' budgets. This trend also is increasing in the market share of products that fall within the circular economy. And I think, Diana, you have an example about this.
Yes, my example is the actual banana tree. So believe it or not, banana trees, like other things, take up a lot of resources and time to grow. So now there's been efforts to try to use every part of that banana tree. And believe it or not, it comes out of, it's very useful. Lots of different fibers can be made out of it, and all of the entire tree, and it can be turned into like fabrics or even hair extensions.
My hair extensions? What? Sorry, I don't remember that one. That's so wild. All right, well, leading us from hair extensions to fashion industry is the second largest polluter in the world, just after the oil industry. Singular Society asked itself, why do we buy so many things that we don't need or even want? And why is quality so expensive? One of the sentiments we forecasted for Europe in 2019 for 2021 was the overconsumption, leading to a change within society, craving what is real. Singular Society, which is a venture that was soft launched by H&M Group, where products are being offered as a service towards members instead of a source of income. What does that mean for its members? For a membership fee, they have access to carefully curated life essentials at the price of what they cost to make. By changing the business model to a subscription-based concept, they no longer have to chase the cheap production, but instead focus on quality and long-term relationships with their members. So in North America, we see this with the Scrap Cloth Get a Coupon initiative.
Yeah, I'm so happy that they have that because I actually use it. It's great for families with small children because they grow so fast and clothing only lasts so long. They take all sorts of scrap as well, not like, how should I say this? Even clothing that has holes in it or is ripped, things that you can't donate, that people can't actually wear. Everyone also has that missing sock that doesn't have its partner, so that's also a great way to continually use that.
A resolution for the lost sock. I think that's something I can get behind. So long before it was trendy, Natura was devoted to sustainable and ethical business practices. The Brazilian brand Natura recently opened its flagship store in Sao Paulo that supports Fizzy Digital experiences. The Fizzy Digital experiences are through biodegradable virtual reality glasses that transport you to the Amazon. You can also measure the hydration levels in your skin to create a relationship with the product post-sale. Guests will see a collection point for empty packaging. One of the benefits of returning an empty package is that for every 5 empties returned, customers will get a new Natura product.
Yeah, I've seen so many more companies that do that. It's like the next level of that coffee card that you always punch and stamp.
Yeah.
It's so great because products that people use on regularly and go through regularly, that all gets done properly and reused in a different way.
And I think another way that we see this is even the coffee sleeve. A lot of like local garden centers are partnering up with coffee shops so that the coffee sleeves, which are normally just cardboard, are embedded with seeds, local seeds and wildlife that can be planted. So even if your coffee slip doesn't make it into the disposal, it can have a new life and biodegrade into something beautiful. So for our last company, this is a woman-led company that won UN Environment Program Young Champions of the Earth for 2020 in Africa. This company was started following the development of a prototype machine that turns discarded plastic into paving stones, creating 112 job opportunities. One day at the factory means 1,500 plastic pavers, prized not just for the quality, as they can hold twice the amount of weight of concrete blocks, but for how affordable they are. UNEP said that innovation in construction sector and how affordable they are is the highlight for the economic and the environmental opportunities when we move from a linear economy, where products that were once used and discarded now are turning to a circular one, where products and materials continue in the system for as long as possible. It is with this sense of added value that we've created our technology. So the key question to ask ourselves, how do you prioritize sustainability and create a relationship with your products post-sale?
Let's check the chat for any response.
So we have the opportunity to potentially have that relationship with like the cup sleeves that I talked about, where you're planting things after the fact, or perhaps when you return a product, and like with the Natura example, and then you get a product back from them. Those sort of like cyclical ways in which we can reuse.
Tons of ideas.
And this would lead to our next trend.
Yes, our final trend, we have the co-factor. We're talking about community, compassion, collaboration, co-creation, co-design, and co-spaces.
Lots of C words.
Yes, all of them. And this is typically being driven by being burnt out, the rise of digital interaction, the desynchronization of routines that previously created opportunities for connection. We are in it together has been or has become a united cry across the globe. Our key color for North America is Earthworks, which spoke about the unrest and the uncertainty, this leading to the establishing lost connections to the earth and one another. It's important to realize and recognize that although the destination we seek is the same, the pathway in which we reach it is different than what we could ever have imagined it at the end of 2019.
I still pat myself on the back for writing that line.
Consumers have been investing more time in making their own food, given the circumstances. So Jameson and Homeslice tapped into the future with their online pizza and cocktail workshop hosted in November. As part of the experience, participants received a kit of ingredients ahead of the event and were guided by a Jameson ambassador, Rowan Collins, and Homeslice head chef Pizza. Doesn't that sound so much fun?
Totally.
Yeah, this is a new normal where you have easy-to-use products and tools that offer professional results supported by expert assistance online. It's the ideal way to build a community. How would this trend be embraced by the coding industry?
Well, if as a collective, I think maybe having some sort of kit for samples, like how wonderful would it be for in the new year when you get the announcement of the color of the year, you unveil some sort of little kit box and you literally paint that swatch somewhere. Cool. And it's part of some collective community experience. I think that would be magical.
That's definitely another fun way, yes. The next example we have here is the international brand San Pellegrino, who created a collaborative community through Restaurant Bingo. For several weeks, they hosted Restaurant Bingo to encourage fans to show their support for local establishment. All food-related challenges were unveiled on Instagram, a social media platform, where some of the challenges included sushi and pizza on the same day, or cake just because. For every 5 contributions, San Pellegrino contributed to the James Beard Foundation that provides grants to businesses in the food and beverage industry that were majorly owned by Black or Indigenous individuals.
Wow, sounds wonderful, very impactful.
Yeah, a great cause. The key question to this trend is how can you foster community spirit on and offline to create a closer bond for your customers? Now, this collaborative spirit is spilling into design, as you can see, where brands and retailers are increasingly aware that developing successful products and services for the future means working with consumers, not as focus groups as traditionally done, but as co-designers. Collaboration is something we truly believe in. It is how we choose to navigate our relationship with our customers. If you like to have more information on how our insights on consumers and color trends can help you push the boundaries to this next level, please contact us or your regional sales manager.
Hope you reach out. So that leads us into shade cards. So it's never too early to start thinking of 2022 and how your company could be applying colors. So let's say if for the new year you're interested in a whole range of forecasted colors that are popular for your region in 2022 and you want a whole shade card devoted to it. That's what Color Insights can help with, whether that's for the forecasting, designing, and layout for your shade card. And if you even want a different topic, like perhaps colors and mood, or based on specific styles that are trending in your area, we can help support that.
Lots of resources.
Yes.
Since our inception over 40 years ago, Lorama Group has been a key driver in providing innovative solutions to various markets, be it safeguarding the air we breathe or saving our rivers from pollution. Our core products are not only bio-based, but environmentally friendly. We acknowledge that the ingredients in our products comply with chemical-specific requirements put up to define what is really bioproduct or eco-friendly. These are buzzwords that are thrown around in every which way. So some examples of these standards are the Bio-Preferred program or the Nordic Swan Eco Label. Now, all this is just really about the highest quality products with environmental solutions in mind, from reducing carbon footprints made from renewable raw materials, making finished goods with less VOCs. This is something that we've been championing for a long time now and will continue to be passionate about.
So we hope you have enjoyed the webinar and been inspired to create a greener tomorrow. We will be starting our question and answer portion, but first, how could your brand take cues from the adjacent industries? So feel free to share in the chat how you've been inspired. And lastly, Color Insights as a team is happy to help you develop these thoughts into strategies. Feel free to reach out to us at any point after this webinar. Alrighty, so to peruse our questions, just a moment, everyone, as I look. Thank you, everyone, for all of the questions you brought in. To start off, let's see here. So how do we apply color to these trends? So I'll take on this one, Diana. So just to start us off with how we apply color to these trends, we talked about a trend in the beginning, transparency. So although there wasn't a green in that slide, it doesn't make it any less a sustainable palette. So we saw that very rich, earthy brown in there. That color is Wild Horizons. We've discussed how it's kind of like a fertilizer, providing us nutrients and enlivening us again. There's also that hopeful pink color, Raspberry Ice, in that palette, which again is kind of reminiscent of like fresh shoots of flowers in spring and very hopeful. We also talked in the slides, one of Diana's actually, about Earthworks, which is a very like earthen, beigey brown kind of color. So we're talking about very grounding colors, like we've talked about Wild Horizons, Earthworks, very foundational. What we're trying to build is a greener tomorrow, and to do that, we need a rich soil in order to do so, to plant these trees. So I guess in short, just because it's, you know, a sustainable palette and trends doesn't mean that it always has to be green. There's more ways that we can influence colors and their meanings for these trends. Sorry, that was long-winded. So our next one, we have, how do you know if a brand is being eco-conscious? Diana, do you have an answer for this?
Yes, I touched on it on the previous slide a little bit. There are organizations all over the world that is helping to define that, and they all have different requirements to meet it. So one way to quickly identify it as the consumer is possibly look at your labels. Being part of such standards may have a set logo that you can have on your label, or even certain words on your label that can definitely help. Being collaborative with certain organizations that are well known for putting out environmentally friendly or being eco-conscious in some ways to foster that community together. That's another great way to do it as well.
Yeah, and even just kind of recognizing the labels or logos that are on your labels. Like you might not even know if a product is green, but after those examples, I might be looking at my face products or potentially other foods and things that I buy just to see if they do have the logos that you talked about today.
Yes, and it's just to put in context around what is eco-friendly. For example, like organic molecule doesn't really mean organic foods. It's not the same context, right? It's completely two different things. But people sometimes only know one type of organic.
True.
So it's creating that dialogue and making that communication clear.
So that farm fresh organic means something very different in the lab, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so then I think lastly, we have, where can I find more information on trend forecasts you do? So happy to answer this one. So I talked earlier about Color Insights as a platform. So if you go to colorinsights.com, the website, we have everything from information on events, so like this webinar, where you likely registered. We also have past recordings if you ever want to check in on our previously recorded webinars. The color of the year for 2021 is still up, so if you would like to access that, I definitely recommend it. We talk about that New Beginnings palette and also many more trends. We also have a blog section that's updated weekly on color highlights. And then lastly, there's the workshop section. So if your team or yourself are interested in training and further honing your forecasting skills, feel free to reach out to us and we'd be happy to schedule time with you. And then lastly, as far as other information, if you prefer your content in quick, digestible quips, I would suggest Instagram. It's very visual, but we get the message there in very brief descriptions, and we'd love to see you follow us there.
Fantastic.
All right, so, oh, thank you so much, and happy Earth Day
Happy Earth
to commenters. Trees, that's a cute one to end on. Thank you very much, everyone, and have a happy Earth Day. Bye.
Happy Earth Day. Bye.